everyone, my name is Nelova Benita Margaret, a student at Mbarara University of Science and Technology, pursuing a bachelor's degree in information technology, and I'm presenting on a student saving database. My area of concentration is education, and in this area of concentration there can be very many databases which include student attendance, teachers registration, non-teaching registrations database, and then the student saving database. So I chose a student saving database because all the databases listed above have many different technology solutions that have been brought up in schools, like fingerprint registrations, roll calls for the students for these databases. Then student saving database is not widely spread in Uganda, and there have been a lot of losses by both the students and the school, from the loss of documents concerning students' money kept at the bursars. Then many schools in Uganda still use the paper-based for students' records, who keep their pocket money at the bursar's office. And for this database is going to mainly deal with the student records and their account details. In this, I mean student details might include their admission number, their name, their class, how much they put the money in their account, then the transactions conducted by each student throughout the term. This basically is going to talk about their transactions, whether how much the student has withdrawn, how much the student has deposited, how much the student is choosing to put into savings, and the account details for each student. Then whereas the account may be known to the student, their parent will also have access to keep track of the student's expenditure, or when the parent would like to add money to the student, they can first check on their account to know how much they have and see how much they can add on what is already there. Then the benefits of this database might include, some of them would include students' financial health, like the student will be aware of their financial health and they'll be able to keep up with each to know how much they should spend and how much they should not spend. This would help the students to focus more on their academics, as they would be able to settle and read, knowing where their money is safe at the bursar's office. Then the financial literacy. When money is kept there, a student will be engaged to know how their money would be spent, so this gives them a sense of responsibility for the future. Then it also helps students become more responsible as they take control of their expenditures. Then it promotes savings, as students are able to divide their money accordingly throughout the term. Then the costs that will be involved in this database may include the software development costs, then the maintenance fees, then the training fees, potential database data issues. Then the issues that might be involved in this database might include user reluctance, errors while inputting data, little knowledge of the use of the database, and technical glitches. Then the risks that might come with this database might be data loss, as in there might be some errors while inputting the data, or some data may not be input into the system. Then insufficient training of the users. Being not widely spread throughout Uganda, very many people may need to be trained on how to use the database. Then more costs that may not have been put into the initial planning. Then user reluctance, then data errors. Some of the limitations, the database might have a limited capacity, as if many people are using it at the same time, there might be some system downtime. Then insufficient technical support, as the people who might be in charge of the database may not have a lot of knowledge about the technical use of the database itself. Then there might be some privacy limitations. Then this talks about the MySQL representation of the database. It shows the database that is going to store this data being known as DAV, and the tables that will be involved might include the account, then the student table, and the transaction table. The account table might include is going to include the account ID, so that there might not be two students. There may not be a complaint of two students having the same account ID. Then the total amount in each account. Then the date that the database was opened. For the student account, it's going to include the admission ID for the student, the name, class, gender, the parent's number for in case of any inquiries, then the total amount each student has, and then the account ID. Then the transaction table would include the admission ID, the name. The transaction table will include the date of the transaction, the type of the transaction. Is it a withdrawal? Is it a deposit or a saving? Then the amount involved in this transaction. Then the account ID will be the foreign key, which will enable us to link all these tables to the main table, being the one for the account. Thank you for listening.